know that song? Y'all know that song, and it be like, you put your trust in a ninja. That's how I felt. That's really how I felt when they wanted to offer me a job doing the same thing but making severely less. That's crazy. Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel, The Document. My name is Dominique if this is your first time here, and in this video I want to talk about my experience as a travel nurse in this year of 2022. So it's been a little under a year since I started travel nursing, and I'm gonna get down to the nitty-gritty, my feelings, how I started, etc. So go grab your beverage and come back and chit chat with me. And since you're already here, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So as 2022 is coming to a close, I do want to talk about my experience as a travel nurse this year, things I've learned, and goals within my career moving forward. I have been wanting to make nursing content for a while, and the reason I started this channel was because I was having so many challenges getting started within travel nursing, and that kind of inspired me to create my YouTube channel, because I was like, there's no way that I'm the only person that is going through what I'm currently going through. So I decided to sit down and make this video and reflect, because time and time again I kind of doubted myself into starting YouTube and starting this journey. So why not sit down and reflect and talk about the things that inspired me to want to create my YouTube channel. So I do want to touch on my background and history as a nurse, because I just have not talked about that here on my channel. I graduated nursing school in May of 2019, and I set for my NCLEX in July of 2019. Y'all, I studied long and hard for that exam, and it took me 2 months to sit for that exam. When I tell y'all I was terrified to sit for that exam, your girl was scared. Like, how bad is your testing anxiety? It's real bad. Real bad, okay? But nonetheless, I sat for NCLEX in July, and I passed at 75 questions. So mind you, like, I had already applied for a job back when I was in nursing school. Like, I started applying early, because you all know, like, May graduations are the biggest graduations in college. So you have a lot of people graduating at the same time, and if you want to get at a competitive hospital, then it's important that you apply early. So that's what I did, dressed up my resume and applied, and I started working at a level 1 trauma center on a cardiology step-down unit. Some of the diagnoses and procedures that we would see on our floor were congestive heart failure, acute coronary syndromes, patients going for a pre and post percutaneous intervention, and or going in and out of cath lab, if that's a more familiar term for you. Pre and post heart transplants, we would see patients needed to be cardioverted if they were in an irregular rhythm. So generally, those are the type of patients that we would see. These patients were very, very sick. When I say these were high acuity patients, they were high acuity patients. They were sick. They were on multiple cardiac drips, such as dopamine, dobutamine, amiodarone, nitro, and they had to be on these drips continuously. So starting out on that floor as a new grad, I had really bad anxiety going into work, but just because of the type of patients that we care for, there was not a day that I went into work that there was not a rapid response or a code blue being called. Y'all, I kid y'all not, I was fresh off of orientation, and I had to call a rapid on two different patients back to back. Like, that's how critical and hectic our step down unit was. But nonetheless, I worked on that unit for 2.5 years. I learned a lot, I saw a lot, and I was able to help new grad nurses get acclimated to the unit. After 2.5 years, I decided to resign from my staff job. There are a number of reasons why I decided to resign. If you all want a video on why I quit my staff job, just let me know in the comments below. But I am thinking about creating a video. So just let me know if that's something that you're interested in. I resigned from that staff job 2.5 years after working there, and I decided to pursue travel nursing. So prior to me resigning from my staff nursing job, I was doing research and talking to other travel nurses and travel nurse recruiters to get insight on what travel nursing was like and if it would be a right option for me. Now I would say you can talk to somebody about something until you're blue in the face. If you don't get out and do that experience on your own and you're able to experience it for yourself, then you would never know what it's like. I want my experience to be helpful to somebody else, but like I said, what I may have went through, someone else may not go through. My journey is not going to be your journey. So use what I'm saying lightly because everybody's experience is different. So in January of 2022, I planned to have a fresh start into nursing, and I was supposed to start my first travel assignment the ending of January, but my assignment date got pushed back and I didn't start my first contract until the first week of February. So February 2022 is when I started my first travel nurse contract, and it was a 13-week assignment. I personally think that it was a little bit difficult for me to secure my first travel nurse assignment, and I say that because one, I'm a little bit picky. So when I initially wanted to get into travel nurse, I was planning to stay locally, but when I was applying, nobody would accept and things of that nature, so I was not able to take a local assignment. So it was a little bit challenging, especially trying to secure a contract around the holiday time. If you're not applying early November to get in during the holidays, most likely you're not going to be able to secure a contract, because you have to think about it. Like, some of the nurse managers at the hospital, they may be off for the holidays. They're not reviewing any new applications. So it was fairly difficult for me to secure that first travel nurse contract. If you are planning on doing travel nursing, I would highly suggest to do it early spring, late winter. So back to me being picky, and I don't want to say like I was being picky in the sense of I was just turning down anything, but often recruiters will prey on new travel nurses. And when I say that, I say that to say that when you tell a recruiter that you are a new travel nurse, they tend to try to throw assignments at you, and they want you to rush to try to sign a contract. They want you to rush to pick an assignment. They want to rush to submit you to jobs and things like that. And as a travel nurse, you have to be an advocate for yourself. Now, with me, getting insight from other travel nurses and doing my own research, I automatically went into the scene advocating for myself. I wanted to stay locally. I wanted a certain amount of pay. I wanted to work a certain amount of hours. I wanted my scheduling to be XYZ. So if you already know what you want, you need to present that to the recruiter in a respectful manner, so that way they can advocate your needs to the hospitals, because between you and your recruiter is your advocate to get you jobs. And sometimes they will do things or say things that are not in line with what you want. So you have to be very stern about what it is that you want and need as a travel nurse. I was not able to find or secure my first travel nursing job when I wanted to. I wound up, widening my search, and I eventually secured my assignment. I did go out of state, which was a little bit different. I did get a little bit homesick, but all in all, I did enjoy traveling to another state. I met great people, and I really want to do it again. But when I worked the 13-week contract, I did that. I was offered an extension, and my rate dropped. Like, the rate completely dropped at least 40%. But they were expecting me to extend my contract, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, initially I was being paid this, but now you want to pay me this, And in my mind, I'm just like, y'all know that song. Y'all know that song. It's on TikTok, but it's a song. And it be like, you put your trust in a ninja. That's how I felt. That's really how I felt when they wanted to offer me a job doing the same thing but making severely less. Like, that's crazy. When they offered me the extension, I was like, you know what, hey, I'm not going to extend, because it's like you want me to do the same job for a different rate than what I was being paid. So I did not extend my first contract. And I didn't extend because, one, you have to think about it. When you're out of state, you are duplicating your expenses, your living situations. Like, your recruiters don't know what your expenses are. They don't know what all you have to handle, but they will offer you these rates and expect you to take them. And don't let no recruiter bully you into extending an assignment, because they're getting paid for you to go to work while they sit behind a computer. Yeah, they get you jobs and do their job as well, but just by you going into work, they're getting their pay cut from you going into work. So if you're not happy, why should you make your agency happy? So after I did the 13-week assignment, I didn't like the offer that they were giving me to extend. You know, halfway through your contract, your recruiter tries to see if that's something that you would want to do, if you want to extend, or if you want to look for something else. Now, mind you, I was with my recruiter looking for something else. All the rates across the state board had dropped severely. Like, I saw rates as low as $18 an hour, and I'm just like, no, that's unacceptable. Like, I am not about to, that's the same amount like a CNA makes, and I'm not about to, you know, lower my standards just to be out here making money. So what did I do? I took off for 3 months, and I did that unintentionally. 3 months from travel nursing, I took off. So me, once I saw those rates that had done dropped, I decided, you know, I'm finna apply to a per diem position just so I didn't have many gaps into my resume. So I started a per diem job, you know, until the rates get back to where they need to be. The rates didn't really go up as much, but I was able to find something closer to home and still be able to make decent money. So I've only done 2 travel nurse contracts in the year of 2022. In between my assignments, I have been picking up at my per diem job just because they're short staffed as well and they need help. But I just want to say, like, do not like lower your standards for jobs, because they will try you. Like, they will really play in your face. Like, do not lower your standards for jobs. And within travel nursing, I have learned that, one, you're your own advocate. 2, there's money out there to be made, and I honestly feel like the recruiters and the agencies, like, they don't understand. You have to know your worth. I didn't get into travel nursing to be out here being paid the same as a staff nurse, and that's no shame to staff nurses, but I got out here in the field to make more money, to help people with their staffing needs, and to grow. Like, I'm not out here about to be making less pay because they don't want to pay me. So I pretty much say all this to say that it feels like in nursing I have hit a wall. Working bedside to me is not ideal. I've been doing it for a little over 3 years now, and it's becoming so repetitive to the point where I am starting to drag to go into work. Like, it's very draining to go into work, I shall say. And no, it's not ideal for me. No, I don't see myself doing this forever. But as of right now, I know that I have goals that I would like to achieve. And in order for me to do that, I feel like this is the best way for me to do it. So speaking of goals, I do want to just go into a little bit of my goals for next year. My career goals, I should say. So the first on the list, I do want to maintain a healthier work-life balance. This year, it's been a struggle, like between managing work and managing life. I will say I did pretty well when I was not working, but when I was working, it was very hard for me to stick to the routine that I was doing when I was not working, if that makes sense. Like, when I wasn't working, I had time to go to the gym, I had time to meal prep, I had time to eat clean, I had time to get in 10,000 steps a day, I had time to do my self-care, I had time to, you know, just do the little things that I would typically do on a day-to-day basis. So I do want to try to maintain a healthier work-life balance going into the new year. I don't care how tired I am, I do want to get up, I want to meal prep, I want to cook, I want to make time for my self-care, because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to get up and go to work every day. I need something to look forward to outside of work. And I plan things outside of my work schedule, so that way I do have to make going to work a little bit more enjoyable. So that's one of my goals for next year, as well as make new travel nurse friends. When I took my first contract and my second contract, I made great friends doing travel nursing, and I hope to get me a travel nurse buddy underneath my belt. Like, I would love to travel with another nurse that I know and go to different states and take assignments together. That is one of my goals, but I have not found someone to do that with yet. I really don't know how much longer I do want to do travel nursing, just because I've been having a lot of bumps in the road. But I don't plan to quit now, just because the first year into doing travel nursing was hard for me. I do plan to use travel nursing or nursing in general as a leverage to obtain the lifestyle that I want to have. I know that there are a lot of things in my personal life that I want to achieve, and I know that I can get to those goals. I want to lay the foundation, so that way when it is time for me to leave nursing and leave the bedside, I am in a good position and don't have to look back. So that concludes this video. Just comment down below and let me know some of your thoughts. Have you experienced the same thing within your first year as being a travel nurse? Let's chat down below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you all in my next upload. My ain't just changed. It just was the front gate.